Monday. We hope everyone's day is off to an amazing start. Thanks so much for stopping in, guys, for another tea time with Tan and Eric. That intro was all wrong, wasn't it? I gotta get back in the hang of doing these tea times, but thanks so much, guys, for stopping in for another tea time with Tan and Eric. You guys showed out in the comments with the last tea time. I loved all of your comments. That chick who got her booty felt up by that guy was not having it, okay? So thanks for all the commentary and the feedback on that one. So let's keep this going, okay? So today's topic for tea time: do men cheat? Why do men cheat? Can they be loyal? Eric, I swing it over your way.
So you're asking me, is it possible for a man to remain faithful in a committed relationship? Maybe a relationship that we think of that stereotypically lasts 50, 60, 70 years, you know, kind of what we think about when we think of a dream. Can a man be faithful throughout that period? That's
what I want to know. Don't you guys want to know that, ladies? Do all men cheat? Do they all cheat?
So, like everything else in life, we're adulting here on this channel. We're talking about serious adult topics. The answer is complicated. And I've come up with a handy day. I put a lot of thought into this.
Complicated like a Facebook status? It's complicated?
Both. It's complicated, and there's a little mathematical equation I'm going to give you guys. But it's not a simple answer. And I put a lot of thought into this because we've talked about this for years. Not just from a tea time perspective, but you know, we're all adults here. You have friends, family, relatives, people split up, get divorced, break up, and you talk about what happened, what went wrong. So we've talked about this many times, and thinking about that, I came up with, in true engineering fashion, this handy dandy.
Can you guys see that? There
chart.
we go. Tilt it forward. I hope you guys can see it. Don't you love Eric's penmanship?
So what this represents, and I'm going to put it down in a minute, but what this represents, I think in general, when women think about a relationship, they kind of think about the three, and they look for, you know, guys that...
Tell them the three just in case somebody can't see it.
...are invested in these three things. So I believe it says intimacy or sex, love, of course, and family. Those are the three things that I think women feel like will tie a man, and they should, to a relationship. He loves me. We have a great sex life. We have family ties. We have children. I know his parents. He knows my parents, my brothers and sisters. And yes, while those three things are very important, you'll notice on my little pie chart here, this side is blank.
I hope you guys can see that. Yeah, I think you can see it.
Because there are three other things that you might not have thought of that I think are critical. And it's appropriate that we use a pie chart because just like in this chart, everything is divided. What you have to realize about men, and I think, and this is just my opinion, my theory about men and women and the differences, I think we all experience the same emotions, but I think men's emotions are more compartmentalized, just like this pie chart where there's separate slices. So what do I mean by that? I think a man can love you, and this might be contrary, I think a man can love you and still cheat on you. Now that's not to say love isn't one of the things, but remember this is a pie chart, so there's other stuff. I think a man can have a family with you or have a great sex life, but still cheat on you. And
so that brings me to a perfect example of an instance that I had where a guy said the same thing. I was married, all right, but we were really fresh out of college, or fresh out of grad school, and we were still going to the clubs at that time, Eric and I, but it would only be for like homecoming or something like that. We weren't just you know, always up in the club, but you know, to support our alma mater and just, you know, the homecoming festivities, we would, you know, go out and hang out with our friends. And so Eric and I would go to clubs at separate. We wouldn't go together. He would go with his friends, I would go with my girlfriends. And so on this particular night, I was in a club, I was dancing with this guy, and then I think we had finished dancing, and then we were like, just standing there talking. And I said, I don't know what came up, but I let him know that I was married, and he told me that my husband would understand because he had already told his wife that, you know, his wife knows that he loves her and he cheats, but it has nothing to do with.
So he was saying, I would understand if you cheated with him because he kind of had an open marriage basically, and he told his wife, I love you, but I still might cheat.
Right. and it has nothing to do with their love. The fact that he cheated on her had nothing to do with their love. He still loved her, but he cheated.
And I think to a lot of women that's weird, right? Because again, men are just different. We compartmentalize our emotions a lot more. So I'm glad you brought that up, because you bring up a good point. The first thing I'm going to talk about on our little pie chart here, you talked about love, and it's over here somewhere. And you'll notice I wrote loyalty. And so the guy you were talking to, and hopefully you cursed him out and said, I'm done with you and we're not going to take
Oh yeah, that was it. That was it.
But that was an example of he loved his wife, but he wasn't loyal to his wife. And I feel like a lot of guys will have kind of a guy code and be loyal to their community or to their friends, but they don't necessarily show loyalty to a woman that they're dating or a woman that they're married to, and I feel that's very important.
So what is loyalty?
Loyalty is just, it's almost like the golden rule. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I'm not going to do anything to you that I wouldn't want done to me. If I don't want you to cheat, I'm not going to cheat. If I don't want you to embarrass me with that guy in the club, I'm not going to embarrass you in the same way. And I feel like if the loyalty is missing, then you have a problem.
All right, so an example that I was gonna say it hits close to home, but it doesn't, but it does because he lives here. T.I.
Right.
T.I., you guys know the rapper T.I., the actor T.I., he's married to Tiny. Guys, Tiny's so sweet. Oh my gosh, like I want to be her. Tiny is my friend in my head because she's just she got that country down home sweetness, and it's like, T.I., for the life of him, he cannot do right by that girl at all. But T.I. is like loyal to everybody else.
And to his community.
And that's what I was about to say. Whatever cause goes down here, T.I. is on it, okay? But he can't do right by Tiny to save his life.
Yeah, I think that's a great example. He is very loyal to his community. He's very loyal. I feel like if you were T.I.'s boy, like if you were his friend, I feel like he would do anything for you. But with Tiny, the loyalty drops.
I just think she is out here by herself when it comes to that marriage. If you are on Instagram, then you've seen where she's been kind of disputing, arguing back and forth with individuals regarding her husband. Like, why should I have to fight with other women for what is supposed to be mine anyway? And it's like he never comes to her defense. I know that for a long time, T.I. and Tiny were not married, despite the fact that they have, several kids together, they weren't married. And then I think at one point she just wore him down. I think she wore him down and he gave in to getting marriage, but apparently he was not ready. And at this stage in his life, I don't know if T.I. will ever be ready.
And we're going to talk about being ready, and we're going to talk about famous people, because we're going to talk about a lot of famous people. So let me jump to the next one. You talked about, we all hear about what goes on in their relationship in the news and on social media, right? So the next thing that you have to look for in a guy, we talked about loyalty. The next one I've written over here, no drama. What do I mean by that?
Well,
you have to have a guy with a personality. And some guys start out just laid back, and sometimes you mature into this. But a guy that doesn't want any drama in his life. And let me give you two super famous, the most powerful men in the world examples. Obama and Trump. Now, we're not going to get political in this tea time, but if you think about Trump and all the allegations against him, Stormy Daniels, and I think I saw something today, there's more women. There have been a lot of women coming out of the woodwork. And then you think about Trump's presidency. Trump isn't a guy that's afraid to stir the pot, to say controversial things. He doesn't mind drama. At the end of the day, just to sum it all up, we all know what's going on in the news. He doesn't mind drama, right? Obama, one of the nicknames you see with Obama, he was no drama Obama. Certainly he got things done, and I think was a good president, but he didn't try to stir the pot. And so when you look at their different personalities, I think one of the things that you need to look for in a guy is a guy that doesn't want drama. Because here's the thing. Anybody, when you cheat or step outside of your relationship, man, woman, whatever, that brings drama, because you're juggling and balancing two people. So that's going to bring some type of drama. So
you're saying that Trump has the characteristics or personality that would, I guess, embrace cheating, whereas
he's not worried about the controversy or getting caught
or the consequences. He's cheated. His wife obviously knows that he has cheated multiple times, yet she stays.
Yeah. And that's just a personality thing that goes beyond even cheating. I just think some people thrive in chaos and are fine with chaos. And when you cheat or step outside a relationship, that's chaos. It automatically.
So you don't think Barack has those qualities of a cheater?
No, not from a chaotic, doesn't want a lot of drama, isn't going to stir the pot, certainly doesn't want it from Michelle.
Well, here's my thing as a man, who would want that? So in the case of T.I. and Tiny, T.I. has cheated on her multiple times.
That's one of the things where, see, women, you know, a lot of women don't socialize with guys as regularly. Trust me, I had friends, and look, I grew, you know, I had to mature into this, and we'll talk about maturity later. You know, all of us guys can talk about, yeah, you got friends that are just comfortable having multiple women. It doesn't bother them. I remember a good friend of mine, he used to always joke. He used to say, you know, whenever my wife says, are you cheating on me? You travel a lot, you could be cheating. His response would be, I can barely keep you happy. How am I gonna keep multiple women happy? So,
right.
Yeah.
And so in the case, and I just have to keep going back to this example, the example of T.I. and Tiny, does Tiny bear some culpability in this, in that she's taking him back every time? Does he now feel that I can do whatever I want outside, inside of the relationship, and she's gonna be good with it eventually?
Yeah, so we talked about it from a loyalty perspective. The other thing T.I. has to be comfortable with is the drama. He doesn't mind the social media scrutiny and, you know, all the stuff that comes out. Trump doesn't mind it, you know. I think, and that's just, some guys that's part of your personality. Sometimes you mature into that. I'm going to talk about maturity next. So it just, it's a personality aspect. All right, the next one.
Maturity is the next one.
Maturity.
As Eric fills in the pie chart.
So if you can see that, that's down at the bottom. What do I mean about maturity? You know, being loyal to someone and not wanting to play the field, that is part of being mature. And all of us mature at different times, and you have to respect the process. So here I'm going to use like George Clooney as an example. This is a guy, and I don't know, George Clooney's I guess in his 50s or 60s, but waited a long time to get married. And I think he was having fun. And guys mature at different rates, and I think one of the mistakes women make is you can't, if a guy's not ready for marriage, you can't rush.
Don't rush him. And to go back to T.I. and Tiny, I think that's what happened. I think she rushed him into it. But then, you know, when you take a step back, and, you know, we're not privy into these people's real lives, but when you look at what is going on from what we see in the media, I don't think T.I. is ever going to be ready to fully commit.
And some guys are never ready. Great point.
Tiny and the whole family.
Yeah, that's a great point. Some guys mature in their teens, get married in their teens, 20s, 30s, 40s. Some guys never mature. You probably all have an uncle or somebody, or a cousin or a brother or somebody still playing the field. Will always be a bachelor. Guys mature at different times. For me, it was, you know, early 20s when I met you. But you have to respect the process. And I'm going to hold up this sign. I said some guys mature later. I'm just going to hold this up. Marriage is not for everybody.
Yeah, you've said that before.
Yeah.
All right, so marriage is not for everybody. What about just, do you say marriage and just like a relationship is the same thing? Is a relationship for everybody?
So let's go back to the maturity thing. I think this is another pitfall for women. That I think there is more, and it's getting better. I think there's more social pressure for women to get married, even in today's day and age, in their 20s and 30s.
More for women to get married as opposed to men.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's always been like that. It's getting better.
Yeah,
and so, in this, let's say you're ready, but I'm not. You know what I mean? And so you have to respect that, and a woman has to be comfortable either moving on or being single and saying, look, I can date more than one guy and not be ashamed to do that.
And also, I think what we have to do as women entering into a new relationship is, from the start, you have to teach your mate, that individual who will potentially be your mate, how to treat you. I think early on in our relationship, you knew there was stuff that I just wasn't going to put up with it. And so I think, again, to go back to T.I. and Tiny, I think she let him get away with stuff, and now he knows I can get away with that because I've gotten away with it time and time again.
Let me just say this at T.I.'s wife. Look, I've been a fan of T.I. since his first album, since I'm Serious. All right. So
T.I. does a lot of good in the community. I just wish he would do better by his wife.
And so the other thing, you bring up a good point, because we're talking about guys. I don't want to let women off the hook. That's one thing I think women do that causes cheating, right? If there has to be consequences, and we're not going to sit here and tell you what those consequences should be. Divorce, breakup. That's up to you, but there needs to be.
There should be consequences
for man or woman.
For if someone breaks the vows that you guys have made in the union. There should be consequences. Your husband or boyfriend or whatever can't come back to the union and just
walk in.
I'll get you a new car. Which in the case of T.I. and Tiny, that's what he does. He always gets her a new car, but you can't. Oh, I'm gonna get you a new Gucci bag. We good, right? No.
I think Kobe set the.
Kobe Bryant when he got the big ring. Like no.
Yeah.
Do you think I would take you back?
No. And do you think I would take you back? Had you gone through with it with that guy in the club? No.
All right. No, I don't think.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So that's one place I fault women, because I think women are quicker to forgive than men. The other thing I fault women. So let's go back over the 6 things, right? You asked me at the start of this, do men or can men be faithful? Yes, but all 6 of these things
have to be in place.
If there's a gap, I'm not saying you can't have a small gap in one of these areas, but you need to work on that. So yes, there has to be love, there has to be a family connection, there has to be intimacy, but the guy also has to be loyal, doesn't want a lot of drama, doesn't want to deal with multiple women. It has to have mature. And I feel like the other place where women have fault is loyalty, no drama, maturity, those 3 traits. That essentially means you're not dating a bad boy. Because a bad boy, think about a bad boy.
Why do women have fault in that?
Because sometimes women are attracted to the bad boy.
Okay.
The bad boy isn't going to be loyal. The bad boy probably isn't that mature. And that bad boy certainly isn't worried about drama, right? And I'm not here to beat up on men either. Sometimes it takes some of us longer to grow out of that. All
right, let's take Jay-Z and Beyonce, okay? Again, speaking about people we all know. Why is it Jay-Z is an older guy. Maturity, you would think, was just a no-brainer. It was already in place. And then you get the girl, I would imagine is the female of every man's dreams. Why can't you do right by Beyonce, Jay-Z?
I'm glad you brought that up. We've been talking about famous people. Let's talk about famous people for just a minute, because it's different with famous men, high profile men, rich men. When you're dating a man in that situation, those 3 traits, loyalty, no drama, maturity, not only do they have to have them, but if I have to have this much of that as just a regular everyday guy, a famous guy has to have it to here. Because to a certain extent, guys are more prone to temptation. And I'm not going to sit here and debate or argue why that is. But we just are. Women, I think, are used to being chased and pursued. Guys aren't. And I think it is more difficult. So yes, we can turn it down, but we have to be extra loyal and extra no drama. And I think Jay-Z loved Beyonce. Had they had the baby yet when that happened?
I'm not sure.
Elevator? But I think he had a lot of those characteristics, but you have to have so much more that you have to be really strong and really know who you are as a famous guy. And I think now Jay-Z saw the drama that came with it, and I don't think he wants that anymore. I think he realized the drama that brought the whole elevator thing with Solange. He doesn't want it anymore.
But see, here's my problem with that. Okay, he doesn't want the drama anymore, but how about I don't want you anymore? You're not gonna go and play around with my life. You should learn this stuff before you get with me. You don't go and make all of these mistakes, and I'm supposed to be here when you think that you have now come to your senses, and I'm out here looking like a fool.
Yeah.
We as the women are out here looking crazy. Beyonce, Halle Berry, like, is there a woman
that is so
like, so you're saying that you won't cheat.
Yeah.
But I would never have thought that those women would have gotten cheated on. Like, how is there hope for me?
So women, right, I get that. Women, you guys say, Halle Berry's so beautiful, Beyonce's so beautiful, they got it going on. How could anybody cheat on them? The other mistake women make is not about them. Jay-Z's cheating on Beyonce was not about Beyonce. It wasn't necessarily her shortcoming. And that's not to say a woman can't have a shortcoming that makes a guy cheat on them, but I don't think that was the issue. I think you have to go back to this. Guys, you got to remember this, right? A man cheating on you isn't necessarily about you. What you have to do is
So Jay-Z was missing one of these
the
triangle
loyalty.
pieces.
He wasn't. I think Jay-Z was more mature than a lot of guys in this situation would be. But I think he didn't realize the amount of drama. His wife made a whole album about it. That's a lot of drama.
Yeah.
And I don't think he was loyal to her, which is, if you look at a lot of what transpired between him and I think Solange, I think it had a lot to do with him not being loyal. So, yes, you should analyze that I pushed this person away, but at the end of the day, you need to look at those 6 things: the sex, the love, the family, the loyalty, the no drama. Don't blame yourself.
Here's my question, ladies. Here's my question. Think about this, all right? What would men do if women started flipping the script, okay?
That's loyalty.
What if we started cheating? All right. What if Tiny, Beyonce, Halle Berry started doing to these men what is being done to them?
Well, we keep jumping on T.I., but T.I. and Floyd Mayweather got in a fist fight.
She didn't cheat with that dude.
But just the perception. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just the perception.
But then he's about to lose his mind, though.
Everything you said, that's the loyalty part. I think, so when a guy is loyal, what he is saying in his mind is, I wouldn't like it if she did that to me.
But see,
I can't be chauvinistic and be like,
some of these men have these women so brainwashed, they know they wouldn't do it to them too.
Well, that goes back to your concept. Everything comes back to what we said in this video. This is very educational.
Yeah.
That goes back to the consequences thing.
Yeah.
There have to be strong consequences.
Yeah, I think you know. You know. Yeah, you gotta know as a man, your wife's not the one. Ladies, are you that one? Leave me, please, in the comment, put, he know I'm not the one.
We're not gonna beat up on the guys. You gotta know I'm not the one either. I'm not the one either.
But okay. But so that's why we good. We Gucci. You know, we good. But we just got, as women, we have to be strong and stop putting up with the mess. That's why there are shows like Basketball Wives.
Yeah.
All of them chicks been cheated on, and they just wear it like a badge of honor.
And I sincerely believe, this is a judgment-free zone. Look, don't get married. None of us, you don't have to get married.
Yeah.
As a woman, if you feel like there aren't any good guys out there, you can do bad by yourself. As a guy, if you're not ready, don't drag some woman and have kids with her and just make her feel like crap. If you're not ready as a guy, just don't do it. And we'll all be happier as a society. Now,
I know we have said that Barack has been coined no drama Obama.
Right.
All right. Look, and I don't want any problems either. But if Barack ever lost his mind and decided that, I'm gonna step out on Michelle, and I just happen to be in the vicinity, could I get a hall pass because it's Barack? Could I get a hall pass?
If you can cheat with
Could I